Thank you all and welcome to my session Azure Synapse Analytics for Absolutely Beginners. This is the introductory session, so it's for everyone. So if you like to start your journey by creating Azure Synapse Analytics, then this is the session for you. Let's start with myself. I'm Alpa Buddhabhatti and I'm working as Azure consultant at Cluster Reply. You can find me in LinkedIn. And if you have any question later on, then feel free to contact me. Let's start with today's agenda. So today's agenda is divided into two main parts. In first part, I'm going to give you a very quick overview of Azure Synapse Analytics. And next part, we're going to see a demo, like we create a first workspace, then we're going to see a tour, and we see a first pipeline in a data integration. So in this session, I'm covering only the no-code or low-code way, so anyone can understand easily. So let's start with the first one, which is the overview of Azure Synapse Analytics. So what is Azure Synapse Analytics? Its name itself is said it is the analytics. So it helps you to do analytics in a like perspective, diagnostic analysis, or any kind of analytics. You can do it using the Azure Synapse Analytics, especially when you have a huge amount of data. So let's see definition of it. It is an analytic service that combines the data integration, data warehousing, business functions, and big data analysis in a one shared space. In other words, we can say it is a limitless analytic service that brings together a enterprise data warehouse and big data analytics. It gives you a choice of freedoms to use a query data on your own terms. You can use a serverless or you can use a dedicated resource at a scale. You will find more information in this link. So it's all in one. It provides you a platform where you can do all things in one space rather than you maintaining the many services. And it's speed up your performance, and it provide speed up. You can build your pipeline or you can workflow very quickly and very easily in one common space. So now let's see the architecture, very high level architecture of Azure Synapse Analytics. So this is the one which you can find in a Microsoft website as well. So as you know, the data is grow exponentially day by day, and your data not in a one form. It can be audio file, video file, log file, text file in various different varieties in format, as well as it comes in varieties of way. It can come from on-premise system like Azure SQL Server or Oracle database. It comes from the cloud data, for example, Azure Cloud or other cloud like Google Cloud, AWS Cloud. It comes from the systems like SaaS data, for example, Salesforce system or CRM 365, or it is streaming data or log data. So your data comes from various different from various different places. All data can become, you can use it in Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics, when you create your workspace or service, when you create Azure Synapse Analytics service, it create a workspace, and that workspace can you use in a studio, Synapse Studio. So here you can do a data integration. You can process your data, you can transform your data, you can manage your data, you can monitor your data, and you can have a security which Azure has in any Azure services. Also, you can use the analytic runtime. So here you have a choice. You can use the SQL pool, which is dedicated, or serverless, which is warehouse kind of things. You can use the Spark, Apache Spark pools as well, which will help you to do a big data analytics, advanced analytics. And you can use here Databricks as well. You can use machine learning as well. And it allows you to do data explorer. So for example, your data comes from IoT system or your real-time system, then you can use a data explorer runtime as well, analytic runtime as well. So here one thing is common, that it uses Azure Data Lake Gen 2 by default. And for when you create your analytics service, Synapse Analytics service, it creates Azure Data Lake Storage for you. So, and that one is very efficient in terms of performance wise and in terms of cost wise. So once you have your analyze your data, you process your data, analyze your data, then after you can connect them to visualize your data using the Power BI or Azure Machine Learning or Azure Purview. Also, you can connect other Azure services, for example, Azure Cosmo DB, Azure Cognitive Service. Those things you can do all in one place. So in short, Azure Synapse Analytics allow you to connect uh, most of the service like related to data all in one place, and you can easy to manage and maintain them. This is the link which help you to get more information. So now let's move into next topic, which is why we need it. So these are here I'm showing you few reasons for that. The first one is the serverless and it's a PaaS Azure service. So you don't need to worry about compute infrastructure, hardware, or software installation. Azure will do it for you. You can very quickly spin up a Spark pool or a SQL dedicated pool or a serverless pool in Azure Synapse Analytics workspace. And you can do no code, low code data integration it has that capability. So you can do a no code or low code way, or you can write down your code in a notebooks or in a TSQL SQL script as well. And it supports various different languages as well. It's use Python, Scala, C Sharp, SQL, and many more. It supports more than 995 data so connectors. For example, you can have various different connector, which is like a file system related connector or other cloud related connector or Salesforce or CRM kind of connector. You can use those data source in here and you can directly connect it once you create a link services. So in short, we can say you can do all in one environment. So you can movement your data from different data sources. You can apply transformation on your data source. You can apply analytics using Databricks or Sparks. You can use a machine learning and you can visualize it. So this all in one, you can do it in a Azure Synapse Analytics workspace. Also, it uses a massive parallel processing architecture. Because of that, it increases the speed of your query. And especially in today's world, in organization, we have a huge amount of data. So that's why we really need a data service such as Azure Synapse Analytics. And it's a cost effective as it charges separately storage and compute cost. So these are the main reasons. Also, it allows you to do many things like you can use Git integration using UI. So it gives you version control as well for your data warehouse projects or your transformation projects or your analytics or machine learning projects. So now let's start with next topic, which is when to use Azure Synapse Analytics. So these are the few scenarios. If you have, then you should start using Azure Synapse Analytics. The first one is modern data warehousing. So for example, you have a history data and you like to know some answer of some question in your organization, then you should have a data warehouse. And for that, you can create a dedicated SQL pool in Azure Synapse Analytics. And you can build it very, very quickly in a Azure Synapse Analytics workspace. If you like to apply advanced analytics on your data, then you can use Azure Synapse Analytics, and here you can use Azure Spark pool in a Synapse workspace. You can also do a data exploration and discovery in your organization, and for that you can use a serverless SQL pools, which help you to run a query, and you only get charged for amount of the data you have run for that query. It can use a real-time analytics. You can do a data integration. So here, if you know the Azure Data Factory, then you can do similar things here because Azure Synapse Analytics and Azure Data Factory, they share the common code. And you can apply the mapping data flow. You can use a mapping data flow to apply a transformation. And here it uses Spark Pool. So it's work very quickly and without writing a code. You can do drag and drop. You can create your data movements and data transformation pipelines in a data integration module of Azure Synapse Analytics. Now let's move into key terms or a terminology about Azure Synapse Analytics. The common things used. So there are around 4 to 5 common terminology. So let's start first one, which is a workspace. So workspace is one which allow you to do all in one in a common place. So you can create your pool like a dedicated pool here or a serverless pool, SQL pool here or a Spark pool here. You can monitor your pipelines or workflow here. You can trigger pipelines here. You can do so many things in here all in one in your workspace. So these are the reasons. So we can say that it's a cloud-based enterprise analytics. It allows you to do a cloud-based enterprise analytics. Also, when you create a workspace, it has a associated data lake Gen 2 account and a file system. And it gives you to perform analytics on a SQL and Spark. You can mix them in a one workspace. Next one is a Synapse SQL. Its name suggests it allows you to do SQL queries. So that's correct. So Azure Synapse allows you to do analytics based on a TSQL query. And it allows you to run a TSQL scripts, and you can do it. It will charge you for two different models. It can be like dedicated or a serverless. Depending on your requirement, you can select that. For example, you have warehouse, then you can use a dedicated SQL pool. Otherwise, you can use a serverless SQL pool, which is cost effective as well. So these are the scenarios which use. And also when you need to do descriptive or diagnostic analytics scenarios, at that time you can use SQL, Synapse SQL techniques, which, and for that you can use a dedicated SQL pool or a serverless SQL pool. Third one is Apache Spark for Synapse. So Apache Sparks use an in-memory engine, and we use here like Apache Spark is a separate thing, but we use with Azure Cloud in a Synapse Analytics. So we say this Apache Spark for a Synapse. So here are the few reasons. So it allows you to do a Spark-based analytics in a Synapse workspace. For that, you need a Spark pools. And once you start your Spark pools, Azure Synapse workspace automatically creates a session to handle the resource and associated with her sessions. It allows you to do a big data engineering and machine learning solution using the Apache Spark for Azure. You can do that with notebooks, Spark notebooks, and here you can use like a Scala, C#, SQL, PySpark language, or you can use a batch job, which use a .jar file, which is a Java compilation file. So this is the Apache Spark for Synapse. And now last one, which is a Synapse data integration. So this allows you to do data movements, data transformation using the no code or low code way. And it's similar to Azure Data Factory because it's used the same, it shares the same code which we have in Azure Data Factory. So let's see here very quickly what component you have it. So in Azure Data Factory or Synapse pipeline, you have a link services which connect with external data sources. So at the moment, it allows you to do more than 95 data sources. It has a data sets. So data set represent a metadata about your data. So for example, if your link services is pointing to Azure SQL Server, then in data sets in form of the table. But if your link services is pointing to the REST API, then your data sets in form of the JSON data. Third one is activities. So activities is nothing but it do a specific task. For example, copy activity, notebook activity, machine learning activity, for each loop activity. So those are the activity who do a specific task. And this activity need to have inside pipeline. So for that we need have a pipeline, which is a logical group of your activity and which do a specific business requirements. So once you have a pipeline ready, you can trigger it in various different way. You can do it, you can trigger it based on specific time by scheduling it. You can do it based on blob events when something is happening in your blob storage, like file is created or file is deleted. Or you can use a programming language like C Sharp, Python, PowerShell, or Logic apps. So this is the Synapse data integration. So now let's move into next topic, which is where to start. So before you know starting anything, first thing you need is Azure subscription. So either you can use free subscription or you can have your own one. So this is the link which help you to create a free subscription if you don't have. Then you have Azure Data Studio. You need to download Azure Data Studio and SSMS tool in your local machine so you can access and view data. And for visualization, you can use the Power BI desktop as well. So once you have this kind of tool available, then after you can start with by just creating your Azure Synapse Analytics service. But before that, let's see the studio. So Azure Synapse Analytics Studio, which help you to do all in one. So here you can create your pools, like you can create a Spark pools or SQL dedicated or SQL server serverless pool. You can create pipelines, you can monitor your pipelines, you can trigger your pipelines, you can give access to someone to see your Azure Synapse Analytics. You do most of the things using the Azure Synapse Analytics Studio. So these are the things you can create notebooks, you can run notebooks, you can create SQL scripts. Those kind of things you can do it in a Synapse Analytics. So now let's start with demo. So in demo, we have three demos. So first one is we're going to create a Azure Synapse Analytics service. I just would like to say that this is the link, which is very, very good link, which help you to create everything step by step Azure Synapse Analytics component. And you can do a different way your analytics using the Synapse Analytics. So here they have a step by step information. So now let's go to browser. So let's create a Azure Synapse Analytics. So let's start with here. Once you search here, or you can create a resource group and then also do it. So you just create that and then you're creating Synapse Analytics service. So you need to choose your resource group or you can create new resource group. So let's select existing resource group. And here, this is a manage resource group. So if it will automatically choose name if you don't specify here. And then you need to give a workspace. So let's give a workspace name is so it has a naming standard as well. So this is not available. So yeah, this is available. So all should be in lower letter as well. You should choose this region closest to your data, wherever you data stored, or wherever you want to visualize, like Power BI or those kind of things. It's better to select closest to those areas. And here, as I said earlier, it create a data lake gen 2. It's associated with a data lake gen 2 and file service, one specific one, and this is a mandatory. So either you can create your own or it will choose a specific one. So for example, if I create new one, its name should be lower as well. Uh, So this is a storage account, and you can give a same name, or let's create new file name as well. So here you can see that it automatically apply the few permissions for your data lake gen 2. So in data lake gen 2, when you go to see a permission area, you can see that it give a permission to user who is going to create this workspace, as well as it give the permission to workspace as a storage blob data contributor. Now let's go to next. It's also create your username and password as well. And then rest of the thing you can use default one. So this way you will create your first Synapse workspace. So it will take some time. So while it's creating that, I can show you something else as well in my resource group. So this is my resource group for this demo, and you can see that by default you will get Synapse. When you create your service first, you will get a workspace and a data lake gen 2 storage account. And when you create pools, then it will appear here different kind of pools like Apache Spark pool, data explorer pool, or a dedicated pool. So it appears here as well. And then you need to launch this one. So when you click in here, it's look like this. So when you create your first workspace, it looks like this one. So here you can see all information. You will see your username and username which you created. You will see the URL of your primary data lake gen 2. You can see endpoints as well, and you can open the studio as well. So you can launch here as well, or you can directly do via that as well. And here are the few other things, but we don't need to worry about it at all now. So let's click here. So when you click that, then it will this page will appear. It's similar to Azure Data Factory one for first look wise. And here you can see many things. You can see history as well. You can see other articles or common templates as well. And you can see here where to start as well, which help you to step-by-step guidance, and which I think which looks like this. That link will look like this. Here it will show you how you can do step-by-step workspace pools and other things as well. This is very, very good links. So let's go back to here. I think we were here. Yeah, so this is the one. So you can see that you do ingest your data, you explore your data, and you visualize your data in this workspace. And this workspace has 5 modules. So you have manage modules, monitor modules, integrate modules, develop, and a data module. So let's see one by one. Manage one. So this is the manage module. So here you can manage your important components. For example, you can create your SQL pools or Apache Spark pools. And it's very quickly you can do it. It's few clicks away. You just clicks here, and you will see that you just need to manage it properly. Otherwise, it's a bit costly as well. You can give a suitable name, and yeah, that's it. And when you click, it will create quickly. I have it, so I'm not going to create it. And then it will appear inside here. And this one, if you create a dedicated pool, then you can stop it, pause it if you don't need it, because when it's running, then if at the moment it's running, it give you charge per hour. And this one is built in, which is a serverless one. So this one is always online, and you only get charged when you run a query. Next one is Apache Spark Pool. So this one also you can create here. And this is a similar way to previous one, and you just doing it by few button clicks away. You give a suitable name, you choose a node size, and you will see here price as well, and that's it. So once you create here, it appears again in here, which is in Apache Spark Pools. And this is a Data Explorer Pools, which is in a under preview mode. And this is used for, you can see that it's used for real-time analytics on a larger volume of log and time series or IO websites or IoT devices. And that one also you can create easily here, similar way to previous two. You can create your link services. As I said, there are 95 link services. So you can easily create your link services here. And it allows you to do by just a few clicks away. You select your different data source. There are around 95 data sources. And you select file formats, or if you just select a few buttons click away, you will create your link services. So this is the link service. So once you have a link services, means your data source is authorized and you can create a data sets and you can use in your pipeline and activity. This is for view, which I haven't created, but it gives you lineage view of your data. And this is a trigger, which you can see triggers here. You can create new triggers and you can delete as well. And you can see code in a JSON code. Without writing a code, it will create in a JSON format automatically. You can view your integration runtime as well, and you can have a different integration runtime. And it's very quickly, you can click by few button click away here as well. And then this is the one. You can, if you want to, someone also in your organization want to access this workspace, then you need to give a permission them to here. But by default, when you create your Synapse Analytics, it's give to one which who is going to create, and one is your workspace. Both have a permission here. So Git information. You can connect your workspace in a Git integration or a DevOps one. And it's very quickly by just specifying account name, repository name, collaboration branch name. You can create your Git integration. You can disconnect as well. So that is a manage tab. Monitor tab, you will monitor all the resources which we had in a manage tab. You can monitor each one in here. So this is, I'm just showing you the pipeline one. So you can monitor here its success, and it's a very simple pipeline. But if sometimes you need to know what input and what output is there, so you can easily check here. So that is a monitor one. Then you can monitor which pulse is running at the moment. And there is a one important thing is here. You will see that who is using your query, who has run that query, how long it will talk. All information you will see it here. Even you see a query as well. So this is a monitor area, and this is a integration area. So here you can create your pipelines by just a few button click away. So you can create your pipelines by just clicking here. This is similar to Azure Data Factory. And here you can see that this is the activities which I said you earlier. So these all are the activities you can do it in this data integration tab module. You can move your data, or you can use a transform your data. And it's just by drag and drop. You don't need to do anything much. You just need to select your source and sync. So that way you will create your pipeline. You can explore your pipeline. You can use Azure function, batch services, data breaks, and so many things. And this is the general activities. So here you can see that these are the one which you can use it for different purpose. And you have a for each loop, and these are the iterative and conditional activities. That one also you just need to drag and drop, and you will add here just a condition. That's it. So this is activities, and you can, once you have a pipeline is ready, your pipeline can have more than one activity. It's like sequential or You can have a parallel as well. And then you can validate your pipeline, you can debug your pipeline, or you can trigger your pipeline by just a click button away. And view code as well. This behind the scene, it generates a JSON code as well. And this is a property. Here you can rename your pipelines and you add a description as well. And you also know that who is using your pipeline as well. Those kind of things you can see it by just clicking on a related one. So this is the pipeline. Let's close this pipeline because we don't need to create it. So these are the data integration one. So here once you create pipeline, you can monitor that pipeline in monitor area. You can trigger that pipeline, you can view codes, you do so many things in here. You can manage as well. So now let's move into development area. So in develop area, you can write a script which is in a TSQL, and you can write a notebooks, or you can create a data flow, which is a data flow. You can do it by just drag and drop. But in a notebooks and script, you can write a script as well. So that is a developer area, and this is a data area. So in data area, you have a workspace and you have a link services. So by default, first time you come here, you don't have any workspace. So for that, you need to create a pool, either a SQL dedicated pool or SQL serverless pool or Spark pool in here in manage area. Once you create here by just clicking here this button, it appears into your workspace. It appears under your workspace with the same name, whichever pool you create. And this data lake is automatically comes. And this Explorer one, when you create a third pool, which is Explorer Data Explorer pool, at that time is appear into here. And this link service is nothing but it's the external connection. So this is the link service which I have for connecting to my external data, which is Azure SQL Server, Blob Storage. And this is a data lake. This is created automatically for data lake Gen 2, and this blob storage I have created. So these are the one link services. So here you can connect more than 95 different data sources, which can be related to other Azure Cloud or CRM 365 or Azure Function or any kind of things, REST API. You can create link service here. And this is a workspace. And once you have a Git integration, it appears like this way. So you can do here everything. You can create new branch, or you can create pull request so other can approve it, and then you can use it for your CI/CD pipeline. And you can validate all your information, and you can publish your information. So if you have Git integration connected, then you can able to commit your changes. So it's saved in your repository automatically. So this is a quick tour, but I just would like to show you here that, for example, let's go to Data Lake Gen 2. So here you can see that I have one table. So this is without writing anything. If you don't know syntax, then you can right click here and you can see here either a SQL script or notebook. So let's see SQL script. So this is a very simple. And this is the default one. When I run inline one, then I can use default one, but default one will not allow in here. So for that, you need to use dedicated one. So you can choose that one by just selecting this, and then you can run here. I am not able to run it now, but you can just click here and it will run. So that is the one thing. And if same place, if I go and I do notebook one, it will load data in a data frame without writing a code. So you don't need to worry about anything. But here you can see that this is a data frame, Spark data frame, and this is a Spark variable. And here we using SQL method to select data. You can choose different method as well. And here again, by clicking here, you are running that notebooks. So that is a one thing. Similar thing you can do it in your serverless pool. So this is my serverless pool. At the moment I don't have anything here, but you will see here, this is my external, here I have tables in my dedicated pool. So I can easily select in everything by right click, script or notebook. So you can select it, which is very simple script, and you can run here. While it's running, let's see same place, this table. Okay, you can do it notebook as well, which is load into here in a data frame, and you can run again here by just selecting the Spark pool. Once it's available, then you can click here run and it will run quickly. And also you can do it here data flow. So you can easily go to here, you give a suitable name and you creating a mapping data flow. And once you turn on the data debugger flow, like data flow debug, behind the scenes Spark cluster will run, which take few minutes, and then after you can visualize your data here very quickly. And so that is a database. Let's quickly see here in a link service, and here you can see that this is my data lake gen 2, and here is my source. And here you can easily right click and you can do here as well without writing code. Even though you don't know syntax, you can select rows in a script or you can do it in a notebooks. Same thing, you can do it in different manner, and here you can also create a data flow as well. So this is the one. You need to select a proper Spark pool and you can run this one as well. So these are the simple things you can do it using Synapse Analytics and without writing a code by just right clicking that. Let's disclose this. So this is a quick overview of quick tour of Azure Synapse Analytics. But let's see here what happened now. So I think we earlier started to creating. Yeah, this is the one. So it's created. So we have created first Azure Synapse Analytic workspace. And if you see here what it has done, so it has created these many resources. It has created storage account. It has created a container as well. It created a workspace. And it deployed the role as well. And it's created firewall role as well. This all in one they did it. Okay. So if we go to our storage account, and let's go to here anyway. So you can go to here. So this is your landing page now. We have created Synapse Analytics. Let's filter it. Just filtering them. So you can see that we have created this one now. So this is my first Synapse Analytic workspace, and it looks like this. And I just want to show you two things. It will automatically create one SQL pool, which is the serverless and which is built-in as well. That is the one thing I want to show you. And another thing, when you launch this Synapse Studio by just clicking here or maybe browsing here, you will see that. You will see that there are few things which is automatically created for you, which I have already shown you, but just I want to show it again. So you will see that in Manage tab here. Two people have access. One is who has created, that is me, and one is a workspace. That is one thing, and you will see that in link service there are two link services which is automatically created for you, which is a data lake gen 2 related as well. And if you go to here pool, there is a one pool which is built-in pool created for you. So that is the one thing. And when you create first time, you don't have a Git integration as well. So for that you do by just clicking here, or you go by Manage tab. And here, few clicks away, you can do it. You select your few properties, and you select your projects, you select your organization, projects, and workspace repo, and then you click, it will create for you. So that is a few things. And if we go to storage account, you will see that it has given permission to two places. I think this is our storage account. Let's go to storage account here. This one is our storage account for yeah, this is the one. So if you, this is a data legend too. So if you go to here and if you see the role, this is the one it has created automatically for you. It gave the storage blob data contributor access to who has created, and it give also to a workspace. But if you want to give someone else, then you need to come here and add a role and give a permission to them. So that is the one. So with that, I think we have finished two demo. Now quickly, I would like to show you one more demo which is related to pipelines, which move our data from blob storage to Azure SQL Server. So we have finished this, and we also have finished quick tour as well. And then we're doing this one, which is moving a file data from your blob storage to Azure SQL Server. So here we have used a very simple technique. We use a copy data activity. However, you can do different ways as well. And it move our data from blob storage or data legend to Azure SQL Server, which is a external data server. So let's go to here and let's go to data integration. And this is my pipeline. And here you can see that I have a copy activity which move our data from my source system, which is a blob storage. I can preview here very quickly. This is my data in my blob storage. This is a customer feedback. And I'm seeing is my Azure SQL database. That's it. You can select here mapping as well, or you can use auto mappings. And now let's see if I run this one. It will move a data from blob storage to Azure Synapse or Azure SQL Server. So that is a one thing. It takes few minutes. So you can monitor here as well using the Google icons, or you can do it in a monitor tabs as well.
So I've got to apologize, Alpa. We've run out of time on your session. So
yeah.
if you've got just 15 seconds, if you just want to wrap up, and then we
So yeah, it's almost there. Yeah. So yeah, this way you can move your data from blob storage to Azure SQL Server. And with that, I would like to conclude this one. So we have seen the Azure Synapse Analytics allow you to connect different data sources. It allows you to more than 95 data sources. Then you can process your data using dedicated pool. You can transform your data using Apache Spark pool. You can ingest, transform, or orchestrate using the pipelines. You can query data using the serverless pool. And you can connect other Azure services like Cosmos DB, Power BI, Azure Machine Learning, and many more. So with that, I would like to thank you for allowing me this presenting this session, and thank you for listening me. And if any question, then yeah, thank you.